And
I'm ready to pick a winner. 0 for 9 yesterday.
0 for 9.
On top.
All right. That's tough. Tough sledding.
I feel like I had some favorites I was against that didn't run well, though.
Yeah.
So, moral victory.
Oh, it's tough. I mean, it's tough handicapping at Turfway with the big fields and synthetic. I showed you I got out with the late double.
Yeah. Called your shot. You were in on that horse.
$20 double. In fact, I played that 12 in the 8th race as my main play vertically. So here goes the betting strategy. Missed everything with the big bomb that ran second. But I did have in a $20 double, paid about $1,600, single and Egyptian in the last. So that got me out and made me a winner for night one. So I was happy about that.
It's a good feeling.
So
I was not a winner, but
the season is 71 more nights to go.
I feel like, and you and I talked about this after the show, I feel like there was a time where I would have forced it just to play and made some, bigger pick fives than maybe I was comfortable with. And I did not do that. Lost some of the plays I thought were overlaid, but I feel good that I, didn't force anything.
Yeah.
But tonight I actually like the early part of the card better than I did last night. So definitely plan to be more involved for the peeps on the stream.
I've heard that from a couple of people that I think the earlier tonight is a little more reasonable instead of like giant spreading. But we definitely want to hear in the chat from anybody that had success yesterday. We were talking about Matt Bickey had that 8. That was a big long shot for what race 6 or something in the middle there, 6 or 7. But if anybody hit anything, any of those big prices or connected yesterday, I'd love to hear about it.
I would as well. And I'm sure had to be a few out there.
Yeah.
Was $14,000 early pick 5 and the late I think was 13. So pretty nice.
The thing was, I was really frustrated afterwards. Yesterday, last night, was that late pick 4 paid $1,000, and depending on how you played it, that 10 horse was the possible single top choice in race 6, and Egyptian Candy was a possible single or top choice in race 9. So you could have literally gone single, spread, and connect, and that's kind of what I attempted to do, but I missed race 7, so that didn't pay anything.
I forget it was a pick. I think it was a pick 4 because it paid less than 10,000. So regardless, someone that Temple City horse, the 10, which I didn't love, certainly at even money, but they did got the job done. They were too deep with that horse in the Wesley Ward,
right?
And then the last leg they were too deep with the 2 favorites. Typically not my style. In almost any other track or day, you'd be like, okay, your whole thing is predicated on the 4 horses who are going to take the most money. But at Turfway Park, if you get the middle right, and I didn't really see if they were against favorites there, which would have made a lot more sense. But I mean, the pick 4 paid incredible when you think about it. It was literally the shortest price the whole night.
Yeah,
shorter than even the Utah Beach horse. It was 7 to 5. This was even money, and then you had a clear second choice. I think the 10 ended up being favored, but they were right.
And if you didn't want to play the first, or it was the only horse.
Exactly. So just the thought that's what and it was a reasonable ticket. It wasn't like they were 10 by 10 in the middle, and it paid a couple $1,000. So just something to keep in mind. Now, I didn't like those horses, so it's not like I'm kicking myself. Oh, if I would have really singled in on the even money. Right. But if you have that opinion at Turfway, plenty of ways to make it count.
Yeah, no, for sure, it's amazing. I think it was 50 cents for 1,000, 2,000 for $1, which is you're talking about 2,000 to 1.
Right,
which is incredible. All right, do you have any big plays here in the early?
Yeah.
Lay it on us.
Well, I actually do like the chalk here, Duke, which I also think is very cleverly named with the OOQ, which definitely have, in my time in Lexington, have seen BBN refer to the Blue Devils as that. So even though not a Wildcat fan, I always thought that was a clever way to call out your rival. But more importantly for this race, I just thought is the best horse here. One of those situations where I'd say 2 to 1, which it is now, is probably right. So it's not like I'm salivating, oh man, what a win bet. But I just think, man, if I were to go any deeper in a pick 5, things are going to get really expensive. I do not like the favorite, number 6 in race 5, which is the final leg of this pick 5, and it'll start the late pick 5. So my thought is, okay, I know I want to get to that race, with a few against the favorite, and the spot I felt most comfortable singling was here in the opening leg with the 6. So a little bit of a caveat, and I handicap more seriously this after we saw the races last night. So in the back of my head, I'm thinking, using the time form pace projection last night, none of the winners were in the early part of the race. Even horses who ended up, they were just so good, they were close to the lead, did not project to be there. The others just didn't run very well. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out tonight. And the 6 is forwardly placed, but against this group, I just think is too good. So, I'm playing against what we saw on the pace projector from opening night, but at 2-1, it's just I'm comfortable planting my flag
with the Duke. All right.
Yep. And there, thank you for
there's your grid. No, thank you for that's a lot of great info. And the 5, okay, so and we're both on the 5 in race 2. I was also going to use the Sire DeVoe first time or the 6. So I was going to 5-6 race 2. This first race is tough, and so I kind of like how you played it as leaning on one horse as an A and then kind of spreading, because I agree if it's kind of wide open if the 6 doesn't win.
And I'm going to try to sneak a peek at the doubles here. I'm only using the 6 in the pick 5. I know I have a B column, but at 2-1, I just think I'd rather do that and then be deeper elsewhere, knowing I'm against some favorites. Looking at the board real quick, like the 1 Matlock is 12-1. I mean, maybe that's a double with the 5 type of situation. And, I hate to think of that as a hedge. It's the first leg, but I don't want to be too deep in the pick 5 here, knowing the looks I have later. So,
Okay. They were trying to get,
although the 1 did have a negative Sire move, but at 12-1.
Yeah.
We'll still see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, interesting early tonight, a little bit more reasonable. Yeah, I kind of struggled with this first race because I thought there were some somewhat live prices with the 2, the 5, and the 7. I didn't really care for the 9, who's kind of the second choice or maybe even the favorite here. So 6 horse lock and load, Austin Thomas says, race 1. And, he's clearly the best horse, I think, on paper. That kind of what you were saying. Horses on the lead did not do well last night, so that's my trepidation on the 6. So I'm a little torn here. I might send it in with a spread ticket, or I might wait for the pick 4.
Also an option. And again, I mentioned this yesterday at Turfway. A little bit different than most tracks where the pick 4 really goes up in terms of the takeout. It actually it lowers at Turfway, 15% on the pick 5, 14 on the pick 4. So clearly there's reasons to play the pick 5. Most tracks, like even at Churchill or Keeneland, where it goes from 15 to 22.5. I don't want to say force a pick 5, but to me, I'm not going to say, well, it's cheaper. I'm more comfortable with the 4 races in the pick 4. Then I'll just pass completely, and maybe look at a pick 3 or whatever else. If I'm against a favorite, maybe it's a vertical play. But at Turfway, you still have a lot of incentive to be involved in the pick 4. So, in this case, since I like the 6 here, we'll see what happens early. But
it's that's tough, right? And you don't want. We talked about this last night. You don't want to go 5 deep, which is I'm looking at, and then you get knocked out the first race. So somebody's asking about, did you notice the Super last night paid almost $15K for 10 cents? Yeah, it was crazy. Was that the one in race 8, race 7?
8, right?
Yeah.
The
12,
course, 12-8.
Yeah.
And not only that, but the try was 35,000, something like that.
So, and I was talking about that last night. I was actually kind of sniffing around on that. So I played the 8 and the superfecta, as I like to, in 4th and 3rd, mostly 4th because I thought it was a closer and a bomb, and
Right.
3rd. I probably should have played it in 2nd once. Did not. I had the 12 amongst 4 or 5 horses that I used in 1st and 2nd, and so I kind of had the pieces. I had one of the other 2. I think it was the 4 horse I didn't have anyway, so it didn't matter that they ran 2nd. But I think those are the kinds of plays at Turfway you can kind of fish around on, with these. And that 8, I was kind of dismissive of it, and then I kind of took another look, and I was like, well, this horse is going to run late. I don't think he had been on synthetic, so I think it's a little bit unexposed as to what his potential was, and I don't think it was fluky that he ran a big race.
And again, some horses didn't run at all,
Yeah.
and if you're thinking ahead, that being able to completely cross them out, even if, like, to your point, well, I don't love the 8 to win, even though you almost did, so that could have stung you. But if they look like they're in form, or going the right way, or the trainer is meant for this spot, even if they're a little slow, but they're not. There's no reason to think it's going to be a complete clunker.
Yeah.
Like for 3rd or 4th, especially as a closer, based on what we had seen the first 7 races to that point. That was smart thinking, unfortunately.
But
Ran a little too well, I guess.
But the thing, on those dime supers, I think some of the combinations, it was $3.60, so you're,
Right.
king. And that's the thing about that strategy. If you take that 30 or 40 to 1 and you key it in 4th, then you've only got 3 other spots to fill up. So it isn't that expensive. All right. So here's my grid for the, so to speak, my A's and B's for the early. So this race I was talking about is a little kind of looking at spreading. In race 5, the 1 has scratch, so I kind of put this together before that scratch. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it as 3-6 A's and 4 as B. I might add another horse in there.
The 1 is out in race 5?
Yes, the 1 is out in race 5.
I missed that too.
And then we like to talk about race 2 is going to kind of go tight with the 5 and the Street Devote Firster. I think there's a couple horses that are nice sire moves that I thought fit well was this 5 in race 2, and then the 6 in race 5 could be a little too forward. So I don't think it doesn't have to win, but I think fits well, and the sire stats were tremendous. I think it was 5 out of 10 for Kingman on a synthetic route. So
yeah,
we'll see about that. Let's get some video up here so we can see.
All right. Yeah, they're probably on the track.
Yeah.
For the pit 5, and now the 9 is favored. And looking at the other pools, 30% of the double and exacta pools on the 9. 6 is a clear second choice, but much less in that regard. So maybe the 9 will end up being the favorite here, which, I mean, I think I had it in the B column. I'm not using any of my Bs, but this is a situation with that horse taking that much money. There probably is some vertical opportunity here.
Yeah, with the 9, yeah. And it's not
against the 9 in my case.
Right. Yeah, I don't hate the 9. I was going to use it as a B. It's just I was just kind of trying to figure out how to spread a little bit more here. I thought this 5 was a little interesting. Wow, 18 to 1.
That had a positive sire move.
Yeah, I think that might have been what attracted me to it. Yeah. What else? Race 5 is really interesting, right? There's a lot going on there, and it's at 1 1/8 miles. We got horses coming from, stretching out, horses from turf routes, horses from turf sprints. It's definitely an interesting challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I'll hope to be alive to more than a few. I do like number 7, was my pick of the day. So at the morning line, that'll be even more bullish.
The Ian Wilkes Connor horse.
Plan to lean a little bit, maybe in pick threes. I'll be a little narrower, but pick five, there's just, I mean, you can get to 6-1 in the last leg and be live to a moonshot. So,
all right, talk to me about that 7 because he was my last cut.
Okay,
and I might add him now because the one scratched.
So as a 2-year-old, his form cycle, he got on synth in his third start, and I thought it was his best start at that age. And so now he's back on the Turfway synth, and the 1.125 caught my eye. We saw yesterday an English Channel win at 1.25 miles. Now it's not like I'm like, oh yeah, I got to bet these English Channels going long at Turfway based on yesterday. But it's just one of those, like, your brain clicks and recognizes the pattern. I do like that that horse, Southampton Doc, has been much closer to the pace anytime it's stretched out. Was dead closer in the shorter races. Now as we talked about, being on or near the lead wasn't super ideal, but was still a presser even in those situations. So should get a comfortable trip. And I just thought 12-1 was the right price on a horse whose numbers, once you got past 8.5 furlongs, were as good as any in the field.
Okay.
So if it was your last cut and now you have a scratch, open things up, I would definitely encourage.
All right, you sold me because I saw some of those things, and you mentioned a few things I didn't see, that's a great thing, talking with other handicappers and trying to think these things through. So all right, I gotta get mine in. Are you?
And Bicky popped in for an encore after yesterday. Hasn't given a long shot pick yet. They're not going to come every race, but
we need those. Keep those coming.
Happy for have him join us.
Okay, so what did you decide? Are you singling?
I'm singling. Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Singling the Dookie.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to still spread with my group here. So I guess I'm a little bit against the 6 and the 9, but like a wimp, I'm actually still using them. So, all right. And
I thought it was interesting. Some some trainers might like to have the draw back. Juan Machado, who was 4 for 4 yesterday, just on 2 horses tonight.
But he picked up 2 horses.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah. So I think that is
worth noting. Which is, I go through my ADW. I'm sure I'll see the cross.
Yeah. So he picked up the 8 horse, I believe, in race 4.
Okay.
And
which I like. It's an A for me.
Yeah, I already had him as an A with Victor LeBron, and then I think he picked up something late. Let's see, maybe. Victor LeBron was off the 7 in race 7, and Gaudio picked that one up.
Oh.
And in Luan picked up
what number in race 7?
The 7, race 7.
Okay.
And in race 9. Luan Machado picked up the 7. So, yeah, I imagine he's going to be in pretty high demand next week as entries roll out after 4 wins opening night.
Right. And they've already drawn for Wednesday, I think. Thursday was probably today. But next week as well, you have Oakland opening. And I didn't see too many names that might be going to Hot Springs anyway. But, certainly things get juggled around with Oakland and Fairgrounds and Gulfstream all in full swing. So
pick 5 pool up to 111,000. Last night was what, 280?
280.
Yeah, some big.
I forget what the late was, but I mean overall they did $3.5 million.
Amazing.
Highest Wednesday I could find, and the first time in at least 5 years that they were the most bet track on a Wednesday.
Wow. Wow. And you said that opening night last year was $1.8 million?
Yeah. Okay,
so almost double.
Yeah, a very rousing welcome to Florence.
Yeah, that's tremendous. And so let's keep the winners coming. So, all right, Francisco says $5 exacta box, 4 with 167.
2 minutes, vital 2 minutes of wagering for tonight's opener.
All right. The Lobo. Let me pull up the Sire stats. Let's see. I should be able to do a split screen, right? Okay, do that. Oops, one.
Yeah, I mean at these prices, like I do think there's some opportunity in the double. I mean, I don't hate the 5. That's 21-1.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the 5 as like one of my superfecta plays here. So there's the Sire stats race 1. And the 11, these majestic cities, not a lot of data here, only 30 starts, but 23% winners. Now, I know that I'm pretty sure that's a couple different horses that have really taken to the synth. But still, I think that's interesting to know. And these are the type of races that could be decent superfecta races or trifecta races. Is if you like the 6 and 9, but you figure they're both not going to hit the board, they're not going to run 1-2, that sort of thing.
Right.
It can really open up the payoffs the rest of the way. So, to go back to my notes, so I was 2-6-7 over 5-9. That's kind of my plays here.
Vicky is 4-5 on top.
Okay, there's a couple votes for the 4.
Yeah, and I think that's EJ Benson. Great name. Is 7 over 6-9.
All right.
Which the 7 I don't mind. Thought maybe it might be a little higher than 7-1. 6-1 on the line. Then I guess that makes sense. Actually, just took some money and is now the 3rd choice. No one betting the 3 outside horses.
Yeah, I'm going to do my super
which I get.
trifecta super with the 5-11 in 3rd and 4th. Try to pick up something interesting here. But 6 breaking the gate.
Well, we will be canceling our pick 5.
Oh, really?
I mean, although I guess he didn't actually run.
You probably smart bet would be to cancel it. Horse player superstition.
All right.
I don't know. You tell me what's the answer to that.
Yeah.
Don't let me influence you there.
I'll stand pat.
Okay.
He didn't even get into a run. So
yeah. I will say, we should say this, that we did some dabbling with data and analysis of horses that act up at the gate, and they do underperform shockingly their odds. So, but obviously the 6 is good enough to win this by more than a little on paper. So that's a tough one. I've got him as an A, as one of my 3 A's, so I'm not sad. I'm not,
right.
I'm glad I have him.
Just means he's ready to run, right?
Yeah. All right. Good luck with everybody in the 1st, and let's see how this goes. Got the Duker on the outside of the 3, and all right. So this is like last night, right? So they're trying to rate. They don't look like they're going that fast. The 3 looks like he's maybe. No, he's got quite a hold of him. So 23-4 is a little quick. And the 9 stalking. So I think the question is, where did these 3 end up at the end?
And that I thought watching last night, it was a mixed bag. This is a very well strung out field. But we also saw a couple races where it was a total scrum. And even though it was somewhat spirited up top, you were pretty much just a few lengths back.
So I think this is a bad spot for the 6 at this point. 5's got momentum on the inside. The other horse is hanging, and No, he's not hanging completely. The 9's got a little horse.
A little. I mean, to the 9's benefit, he, I'm not really sure who else is coming.
I would love a 795. That would be my trifecta. But I have the 5 as a B. If you can get brave. Come on, how about 7? How about that 7? Okay, 9, 7, 5, 3. Well, that will give me the superfecta a couple times.
Yeah. 9, 7, 5, 3.
Yeah. So I took the 5, 11. Oh, and the 11 was hanging in there, wasn't he? And then he cratered at the last few yards.
Exact is 12-1. So
okay.
And then you have 2 prices. So
5. Yeah. So
although I guess the 3 ended up being 4th choice, but I mean the 5 is
the 11 ran 6th.
9th choice of 12.
We get 17-1, 8-1, and 4th. Couldn't quite tell who was 5th, but it looks like the 11 was. See, if the 11 ran 4th at 62-1, then we got
then it's
two bombs.
It's a good time.
I don't know that it's going to pay that much with a 7-5 on top, but
better than I did.
Better than not cashing, right? All right, let's go back to
who's the jockey on the 9. I thought he was not in the best horse, but stayed out of trouble. Didn't move too soon.
That was Corrales.
Okay,
for Ravelli.
So he's off the duck.
Yeah, he didn't have a great night last night, but that was nice. That was Summer Polly in 5, the triple bug, who's riding well, and
yeah, she's a couple thirds and a 4th, maybe at this
Sounds
point.
like that. Definitely a couple 4ths last night, and that's not bad. 17-1, kind of in there to the finish. All right. Well, we're off to the races.
So 9, 7.
Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of, against this 9 a little bit. I don't know. I had him as a B, so that's not a great start, but it doesn't kill the ticket by any means. And let's see what else. We want to go back and look at some of the soccer. Let's look at the prices, I guess. We'll wait for those to come up.
Yeah, there's still a pick 4 coming up.
Yeah, so it will be interesting to see how the jockey colony shakes out. You make a good point with Oaklawn starting up in when? A week?
Next week.
Okay, so we'll lose. Do you know who we're losing?
I'm not sure any are going to be full time at Oaklawn, but guy, depending on the type of race and the money's so good down there, someone might go down for a Saturday. And that type
so this
of thing.
might be the jockey colony we've got in foreseeable future here until maybe a few shake out. So it seems like a deeper colony than last year, so that's probably
way deeper.
Yeah,
thought the top was pretty solid. Corrales, Rodriguez with the bug was riding great, and Landeros, who is at Oaklawn. But when thing is with races that have 10 to 12, there's a drop off at some point. And it seems like this year that drop off might not be until the 11th or 12th horse. A guy like Gadio Martinez that might be your 7th or 8th guy there is a good rider. Which is great. That's to me part of why it's fun to play. Sort of that Breeders' Cup-esque thought of, man, you're getting 25-1 on Grade 1 winners.
Yeah.
So
for sure. Yeah, and it does introduce a different aspect to handicapping, right? And sometimes handicappers are like, I like to play the marquee tracks. I know the jockeys, or I get better rides, and that sort of thing. 66 on the super, so not nothing too exciting, but cashed a couple times. So when you've got marquee riders, if you're playing like a more, Churchill Downs, a Gulfstream type meet, you probably get a more reliable ride from the top riders. And I think some level as a handicapper, that's nice that you know the riders and you know some tendencies, or you just don't have to pay as much attention. I don't think, because you're going to get a certain quality of ride. I'd say last year Turfway, it was less competitive. There were more riders that were breaking in. Maybe like more Belterra type riders. And so I think as they're learning their way and they're on a new track like synthetic, the quality, I don't say the quality, but the difference that you're going to get from race to race and the ride,
I would say.
It varies a lot, right?
Yeah.
So it adds like it's this whole other wrinkle to handicapping at Turfway.
I mean, I look at it this way, and we all love Perriutes, Iron Man, incredible. But if he has 7 or 8 mounts on a 9-race card, like, to me, that's a decent measuring stick of, overall the type of jocks in the room that you can go to. And, this year, and he had a few mounts yesterday, and, I'm sure we'll see his name plenty. And if he's on the right horse, he is absolutely more than capable. But, that to me is sort of a name like, okay, if he's getting on this many, you're not as deep maybe as I think we will be this year.
I thought he gave a great ride on that one horse on that route. I'm trying to think what race was later in the card last night. It just, yesterday it was not playing to speed, especially in a route. So it didn't really work out. So we'll pull up our Sire moves report and talk about that for a minute. And the winner of the first was a good Sire move. So there we have Lieutenant Jack, midshipman, 12% on a turf route, and midshipmens are 21% winners on the synthetic route, jumping up going from a negative impact of 11 to a positive impact of 36. So, he was already favored, so you probably didn't need additional reasons to like him, but that was another reason.
I mean, I would say if that had been the horse I was excited about, then, a number like that gets you more excited or gives you that extra confidence to not worry about others. So, that's my use case, even on the favorite. It's like, okay, who are you nervous about? But, then you see a number like that and think, man, I already liked them. And if they can improve, then.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you've got to use it directionally. The 3 took Coco there at 8-1. He went off at 8-1, ran 4th. That was a negative Sire move. So, maybe that he ran to about form. All right. So let's look at race 2. See what we've got.
I'm eager to see how the double and such look.
So here was the race where, it's just kind of like more of a long shot. So the 2 is the Always Dreaming, jumps up a little bit on a synthetic route. The horse is 30-1.
Is the 11 out?
The 11 is out. Oh, is that new?
It's new to me.
Yeah, I don't think the 11 was out earlier. That does change a lot. I think that.
Yeah, no, that's
makes things a lot easier on the 9 if the 9's the speed. And
that's a big upgrade on the 9.
Interesting. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Well, that changes a lot. Take Charge AMD on the 9, and doesn't show up in the Sire move report, so that's a roughly flat move. Thought the 3 was a little interesting. Firewire, firing line, 0 for 5 synthetic route, so not a lot of data.
Yeah, nothing.
And what was your thought on the 6, the first time starter for Cherie DeVoe, Sweet Talking Bourbon?
I downgraded based on expected price, which I think is going to turn out to maybe the right. Had 16% of the double pool in race 1. So if you like, you might be okay. But as we discussed yesterday, first time starters that did not have 5 stars on the HRN report,
Mhm.
winless in the November-December portion of the Turfway meet the past 2 years. So, they're going to win eventually. Like, I don't, that's definitely one of those things that just the law of averages is going to catch up to it. But, and at 4 stars, I'm definitely very forgiving of that number. But I just thought it had the look of one that would maybe take a little more money than I would want when all is said and done. So, certainly understand those who would use. I mean, 4 stars clearly shows the horse fits at this level with this group.
But the early action is strong here.
So
the double will pays the 5's $13, the 6 is $30, but at the moment the 5's favored.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, 6 is favored.
Oh, favored even. 5 to 2, 3 to 1. Imputed odds.
Okay.
8 to 5 on the 5. Almost 5 to 1 on the 6.
Really? Okay.
And then the next 3 are around 7 to 1. So 6 is definitely the clear second choice.
And the imputed odds compare the will pays as well as the current top board, or
no, just based on the double.
Just on the double.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you turn the will pay into the percentage of the pool, what it would be like if it was a win bet.
But I would, with a first timer like this, I would maybe put an asterisk on that.
Sure.
Because wouldn't you agree that first timers that do get action or that are well intended very often get action, and more so in the single race pools than in the double?
Yes.
So, so the imputed odds, yes, and rather than maybe going off 5 to 1, maybe it goes off at 3 to 1, second choice.
Yeah, I think that the time you wanted to be involved was, I mean, especially like a pick 5 type bet where, I mean, yeah, you saw the double pool, but probably will play a little closer to the morning line because there is a clear choice in here, and it's the 5. So.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. Well, we're underway. We got pick 4.
We do. I'm gonna run it back.
Run it back. All right. There you go. Well, I'm still alive with my chalk B, so that wasn't too hot, but I was hoping for the 7 or 5 right behind him.
Yeah. The other, I do not like the late sequence at all. I mean, I think they're competitive races, and I'm eager to see the board, and I'll bet accordingly, but I definitely did not have a plan for, how to connect the dots, even in the late pick 4, let alone the 5. So I definitely feel comfortable with some of the options here. I've only the 1A and the 5, and then my 9's the lone B, which, 7 to 1 double odds, and looks like it'll be around there when things settle. It's the right price. And, that's a big scratch on the 11. I know we haven't seen a lot of horses. We haven't seen any yet go gate to wire, but if it's going to happen eventually, this seems like the race it could. That blanket that horse is wearing matches your shirt.
There you go. It's cold out. Need something.
We have to put that on there so people actually get my joke.
Oh, all right. Oh, they're gonna put him off. So I'm engineering it all wrong. There we go. We got time. Just in time.
It's
got a plaid blanket on the neck. Oh man. Well, thanks everybody for the great support watching. Keep the comments coming. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe the channel so you don't.
A little bit. It's not always my bald head.
Don't miss anything. So if you like and subscribe, you won't miss anything in future webcasts. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's these races are so wide open, anything can happen.
Yeah.
If you didn't click the all button like I did, you will be sweating a wide open race 2. I
actually thought the 3rd was the most wide open.
I agree. I agree. I mean, for sure. I think, we were talking about this last night, is which races to spread, and go deep at Turfway is a big thing. One of the things I've been trying to do and had some success is with our first timer report and trying to get a little bit stronger, feeling on the first timers is actually going narrow in the maiden races. And what I think has helped me is then when you connect, you can go deeper in other races. So instead of going 4 deep here and then 4 deep in the next, I'm going 2 deep here, using the 5 as the best horse, the 6 is the best firster, and then maybe 6 deep in race 3, maybe 7 deep. So,
right. And for me, it's not about being able to go 8 deep and use the top choices. It's about reaching to that 30 to 1.
mm-hmm.
That's the 8th horse you would use. Or, being able to lop off the chalk like I did to no avail yet. But in the pick 4, it still could be lucrative in race 5. Like the 6 wins, knowing I'm starting this with, potentially a 5 to 2, 2 deep. That's life. But being able to get to, and I didn't write morning lines down, but I know there's a few here that were 12, 15, 20 to 1. And a wise man just kind of called it, hurdle. You want to minimize your hurdles. And when you clear them, give yourself a good shot at that sprint home. And that definitely helped put in focus for me, like why the, using 4 or 5 horses that you think can win each leg is in the long run really going to zap your bankroll, because if more often than not, and we discussed this yesterday afterward too, I just realized, like, if I don't have a handle on a race and think I need 5 or 6 horses,
Mm-hmm.
then those are the ones anything can happen.
Yeah.
And that's not to say you use them all no matter what. That's silly, but you got to bankroll perseverance and playing the right way and percentage of your bankroll. You just need to be able to cut horses that are going to beat you sometimes, which happened to me. Leg 1, it's not like I didn't think Ravelli and Corrales could win that race. I just thought it, is what ended up being the favorite. I actually thought Duke would have been the favorite, and wasn't. But even at that short a price, I was, willing to take my shot against, and I was wrong. But
right. I mean, there's just not a lot of value to take 2 favorites and then start adding other horses.
Right.
Absolutely. And that's.
But like yesterday, which the example where the player who had the pick 4 had the 2 favorites and the 2 legs. Those were the only 2 we used. And then again, I wish I could have seen what he did in the middle, because it wasn't a huge ticket by any means. So it was fairly reasonable, especially by Turfway standards for recreational players. He identified the right races to spread and leaned on the right chalks, and I have yet to do that because I was against Utah Beach, Ravelli earlier, but it's going to happen for me.
Yeah, and you were just talking about, like, this could be the race. Rodney Evans has got a trifecta play there. 7 looks amazing on the track. All right. Yeah, this race changed a lot with the scratch of the 11. Like you said, if the 9 got out there, we're able to get out there alone, could do a lot of damage. On paper, it looks like the 4 would be the main threat for speed, but obviously we've got some firsters in here that could go as well.
Yeah, and Cherie just clicked down to the favoritism, which won't hold. The double's too far apart, but clearly there's some confidence.
Yeah, I mean, the horse looks good. I mean, the 47-1 breezing bullet workout 2 back Churchill gate work on the 24th, 48-1 breezing from the gate. So definitely some good works. And seems to have some confidence. All right, there we go. Co-favorites 3-1.
Pick 4 time.
All right, that's what I'm kind of doing. Let's see how I want to structure.
Tommy used to be my neighbor.
Tom Drury?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm just still kind of.
I see you have Lily Poo as a B as well.
Yeah, I'm going to take Lily Poo off the pick 4. It just seems like, a class dropper from graded stakes that's just not winning. They're trying to search. I sense some negativity as well.
Yeah. I mean, I I didn't see the morning line when I was going through and kind of caught my eye. And I was like, oh man, 2-1. Axel though is a jockey I'm definitely excited to play in the right spots.
Okay.
Based on what I saw at Churchill, and he did win one yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he doesn't give you an inch, so you're gonna get an effort to win, but I think trying hard too is a bug. So in those spots where, man, if I can get him up at 20-1 for third, like he's a guy you want in that situation. But it's the favorite, even though it's like, oh, this is a jockey I'm excited about. Man, 2-1. It's a little short for me.
A little short on the Lily Poo.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
that is a good name to go with Duke, though, I felt like.
Duke and Lily Poo.
Duke and Lily Poo.
All right. Yeah. And I liked one horse I liked in race 5 was this 3-horse, the Tonalist, Call Me Tony. Now inherits the rail. And then the 6 is 9-5, King's Secret, like that. Kingman.
Mm-hmm.
And Strong Sire move there. And Cat Mint, the 1, was a late scratch in race 5, if you hadn't seen that. So, all right, 6 minutes to race 2. Also, it's not as cold tonight. So, some people have theories that it's a little
yesterday
warmer.
Was pretty nice.
Yeah.
I wasn't up there, though.
Yeah, I think it's about
Even
10
better?
degrees warmer.
Yeah, okay.
And I think there's some theories I sort of subscribe to, but want to see more data that the track gets a little more closing when it gets colder.
And we have a report on that pick 5.
Okay.
It did 125,000 last year, 264 this year.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So
more than double.
And waiting on, we'll have final numbers tomorrow, but it sounds like about 10% of that was just this stream.
All right.
So
excellent. Hopefully,
way to go.
Hopefully the winners. Hopefully we can cash. I mean, these pick 5s are amazing. That late pick 5, that was not for something that wasn't crazy.
No.
Getting into
it wasn't crazy at all.
Payouts.
I mean, and which I know you actually liked. I mean, I mentioned Gadiel being on Ryan Day.
Mm-hmm.
What's the horse's name?
The 12 horse? I forget.
Something Day.
Yeah.
But not race day.
No, that was the Sire.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, like there was clearly, I mean, you loved the horse in the last. You even said, I'm going to play this. That's going to be, where I take my stand. So.
Yeah, I just figured the way
the track
was closing yesterday, just stick with the closer, and the Egyptian Candy was the way to go. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. And, I like how they're incorporating more distances too. So 1.25 miles last night, 1.125 miles tonight.
Yeah.
There was a 5 furlong last night.
Tyler.
Yeah. Tyler Picklesheimer.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice guy. Yeah. Racing secretary. And he's works in the racing office year round in the Kentucky circuit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Unless he goes to Belterra, I guess. Could maybe be a. But I don't think so. I'm almost positive he's at Turfway. So Kentucky Downs, I mean.
Right. Yeah, so everybody, good luck. Get these pick 4s in, and we'll see how this one plays out. I'm on the 5-6 here. I've got a little more concern on the 9 and 10 than I did before that scratch of the 11. I think, but still going to stick with the 5 and 6 as kind of the top plays here.
I just thought of another beat I took last night.
Oh yeah, what was that? Get a ticket on the way home?
I did run over a raccoon, and I felt very badly about that.
Oh boy!
But I saw it, and there was a car coming.
Yeah,
2-lane road. I mean, it was
no
choice. Yeah.
All right.
I braced for impact, though. It was not pleasant, but that was bad.
All right.
But I talked about making
next time
win
don't
bets.
share when you hit something on the road.
Win bets because of a promo.
Okay.
That was actually
right.
It's on Saturday.
Oh,
So I was making bets well, there were a few I
All
was
right.
excited about, but there were a couple I did it what I thought was fulfilling the promo, and
you were
so
helping the handle.
I helped the handle.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Made the goose egg that much rougher though.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, switching back to the first timer here. 3-1, it's pretty strong action. I mean, really
That's
tied.
really strong.
Yeah. So like at what point, forgetting about your biases or reports or handicapping or my handicapping, at what point do you just start to say there's a lot of smart money on this 6-horse? Because they can clearly see what the 5-horse can do.
At Turfway, not at all.
Okay.
Because of the data of how the firsters do.
Okay.
And I would say, well, I'm going to let, with that number, I'm going to let a
Okay.
horse like this beat me, even with the 4 stars.
Okay.
I will say, certainly, it circuits I'm familiar with and know, oh man, yeah, when that trainer takes money or
Right.
whatever might be conspiring,
Right.
the stories around, I will upgrade, or maybe it's a situation where it was, let's say, one of 2 4 stars in the race, and I was using them both, and one clearly has the steam and a barn. You kind of trust that movement.
Right.
That's where I might say, okay, I'm going to single this horse.
Okay.
So I will use the board, but because at Turfway, first time starters at this time of year have done poorly the last 2 years with a significant sample size.
Yeah.
I would just say, well, at a short price, I'm going to let beat me.
Okay. Fair enough. I like it. I'm still going to stick with the 5-6, but I completely hear where you're going. And there's a lot that could go on at Turfway too, right? The horse can be well intended. The track can be closing. You get caught in some, speed duel or all kinds of things.
Right.
But those are the kinds where it's like, I kind of get a little stubborn a lot of times, and like you're doing, like, if I don't like the horse, I don't get on it. But it's like when you see so much money coming in, it's like, oh geez, maybe I really need to think about that. Catherine says 6, 7, 8, 12. All right, I'm gonna turn it off as they're going in the gate. Cool.
Now, is Catherine intimating that one of us is imbibing? Because all I have is Subway and it's unsweet tea.
Unsweet tea. No, I'm just drinking water right now. I forgot if I was going to do any long shots here, but I don't think so.
Oh, they're in the gate.
They're in the gate and they're off. The 2 was the big Sire move, 30-1 shot, although the form really wasn't that great on the 2. All right, let's see. 2-4 on the lead. Okay, so the 9 is not out on the lead. Let's see who's on the 9. Edgar Morales is on the 9. He won the first yesterday from well off it. And there's Gadiel Martinez we're talking about on the lead on the 4. And
taking a peek back.
Yeah, I mean 23-2. That's moving for what we've seen this first last night and one race tonight. Here they come already. Wow. 10's got a big sweeping move. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So, we'll see how much like the 5 and 6 were well bet, how much they got here. 6 is back into the picture. Wide. 5 is sitting there 4th. Yeah. And here comes the first timer. He's the real deal. And the 5's going to chase him home. Not really anything else coming at him, right?
No.
Well, the 8's got a little life. I mean, that's the thing. They go so fast that these things can collapse a little bit. Yeah. They got a little life here. They got a lot of life. The 7, Catherine was saying, looks great on the track. Wow. Yeah, and I think that's wow, that's wild. So I mean, to me, that's one of those not sour grapes, but I think the 5 and 6 ran great races, but the pace of the 4 set just set up. It's way too much pace now. And when I say that, like, that might not have been way too much pace at Keeneland or at Churchill, and I don't think those outside horses get there. And at Turfway, you can't do that.
And I would say another, a few times yesterday we talked about the last move.
Yes.
Sometimes it's the first one you get the jump and you can't catch, but I mean at Turfway, the 5 way. I was actually a little nervous turning for home. I thought the 6 had given him the slip. Engaged, got in front, went on with it. Don't mind that ride at all. Ended up not being good enough, but I was like, oh, is the 5 going to get left here? And then, the 6 dropped out of it too.
But look at those fractions, right? So 47.52, so 47 and a half. Then they start to stop, right? So almost 26 seconds to the 113 and 1 or in 10. And then they're coming home in 26 and a half. So they just, they stopped. And making those power moves on the 5 and the 6. So Declan Carroll on the outside on the 6 and Bashiza on the 5. They moved too soon.
I do believe the 7 was a 4-star though. So there
you go.
The debut.
There you go.
We spent all the time talking about the 6 taking money.
Yeah.
And finally a first-time starter did it, which, I mean, we, like I said, knew it would be a matter of time.
So that was a Yoshida firster who was 1 for 4 synthetic routing and is now 2 for 5. And a Brissett firster, he was only 1 for 15 at Turfway prior to this race. So
with first-time starters,
with first-time starters. So Yoshida
2 for 16 now.
Yeah, 9-1, nice price. And I mean, I guess, would you consider that this horse had some action? I mean, from a 15-1 morning line. I mean, he wasn't dead.
I guess some. I mean,
yeah,
it wasn't dead.
Yeah.
I mean, now that it's happened, I'm gonna have to go back to basically 4 and 5 star. 4 and 5 star horses are gonna have to be. I mean, at 9-1 like that, it's easy to red board, and I don't mind doing it since I didn't play it. Not like was holding back on that one. I didn't use. Was being cautious with the firsters, but now that it has happened and paid $20 more importantly.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. Well, good prices if you've got this one, and I think that 9-1 is a tough use in the horizontals.
Yeah, I would say. I guess since it was one of the 2 you could have leaned on in the opener, maybe that helped people get to it. Mm-hmm. Especially, there's players out there that are going to see if they don't like getting beat by a firster or nervous about the money they might see.
Matt Bickey said he's got the Exactitron Super. Yeah. Love it. Awesome.
But yeah, I mean, that double. Yeah.
Well, more so, I was thinking like
in the double pool, he was 17-1. So that if you're alive in the pick 5 after 2,
right. That's what I was getting at or even the pick 4 after 1.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, these races are so deep.
No, because that wouldn't be a horse you'd see at 9-1 and add. Right. Whereas plenty of people would have seen the 6 at 3-1 and favored for some of the betting. Yeah. Absolutely would have been on that horse.
Nice try. There we go. Time Super, $121,000, $1,200 for $1. That's great. Nice hit, Matt.
Where's Lucky Charm? He said.
Yeah. There you go. And Catherine cashed as well. Boom. There we go. Love it. Love it. Thanks for pointing out the horse looked great on the track. That's always good to know.
Especially with a firster.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
In general, but.
No, more so with firsters.
Great to know a horse look good in any race, but the more they've run, the more it's like, well, how have they looked in other races? Like, what's the pattern or lack thereof?
Right.
Whereas with a firster, it's
Right.
like, okay, this is the first time we're seeing them, and they look good.
You're flying blind, right?
Right.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason, like we talk about, we created the first timer report is, I think for so many horse players, first time starters are just like such a headache, right? And it's like, oh, how do I deal with this absence of information? And there's some workouts, and maybe there's a couple fast ones. What do I do with all this stuff? And so we kind of try to. There's a lot of data and analysis behind that and behind those numbers, and that's why directionally they help out really, really well.
And what I like, knowing the numbers are solid, plenty of sample sizes to back up, the output. To me, I'm very comfortable living or dying with it. And before you would get to certain races or see action on the tote after your ticket's in, or you're, live to certain horses, and you would be worried.
Yeah.
But, if I see a 2-star that's 10-1 on the line, who's 9-2, like, yeah, okay, maybe someone knows something, horse maybe better than it showed in the morning, whatever. Right. But I still feel good about where I'm at. Like,
right.
They're going to beat you, but they're underlays. Right. So, whereas before, like you said, you really felt like you were flying blind, and don't feel that way now.
Also, here's the first timer report, and I guess it's probably less helpful to show it after the race. But here was the 6 Sweet Talking Bourbon, which we had given it 4 stars based on some of the speed of works, and the works is how they correlate to her barn. Not a lot of success at Turfway. 1 for 17. Twirling Candy was fine. So I think the Steam was even more surprising, knocking it down to the 3-1 area. But Noah's Ark 15-1. We also had it as a 4-star. Decent numbers here on the workouts, the barn workout. Same kind of thing though. Brissette 1 for 15 at Turfway, so wasn't screaming, that this is a move. But the tough part is the purses are going up so much that more trainers and more owners are going to point to Turfway and point good horses at Turfway and debut winners.
Yeah, and the extreme example, but last year we saw Brad Cox had Idiomatic at Turfway, and now she's going to be, I would think, unanimous champion older female. And I'd have to look back at her maiden win and what that looked like and the price she was, but there was a time, and now it's just another level this year even versus last. But 3 or 4 years ago, you'd see a Juddmonte Brad Cox at Turfway and think, they're trying to get a win for the dam type of thing,
right.
And now it's
picking easy,
legit graded stakes winners, or using it to train and start their career. So
that'll be interesting if that develops into a thing where they want to start horses on synthetic for a reason, right? To give them a base or to give them a easier start, or there's still a lot of trainers that like to start at the fairgrounds and develop 3-year-olds at the fairgrounds. And I think with Turfway, it's still unproven, but as the purses grow, people are going to try more things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lily Poo 8-5 in the double.
Wow.
The 9 is sort of right there with that one as well.
I like that 9. So the 9 was, you're talking about race 4.
No, race 3.
Race 3. Okay. Oh, the payoffs here in the double.
Yeah, just looking at
imputed
projecting.
Okay. Yeah, so 6 and 9 favored by far. Thought this race was interesting, but there's a couple others. The 2 Erna's run some good turf races. The 3 Lily Lane, 12-1 morning line, currently 18-1. Has run some good turf races as well. Maybe not as good the last couple, but the numbers are good. Running a higher class.
And I had a positive Sire move on the 3.
Mm-hmm. I thought the 4 Motai wasn't impossible based on some good synthetic races last year, or at least a horse that could be in the mix.
I picked.
Okay. And then the 11 I thought was interesting. It was coming from Hawthorne and Thistledown, but we're talking about Larry Ravelli, Walter Rodriguez up, nice outside post, potentially on the lead. Again, speed hasn't been great, but we've had a couple winners. The 10 won.
Yeah, no,
on the lead yesterday.
Speed's been terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, and the winner was even money. So
yeah. No, I don't disagree, but kind of like you were saying.
But I'm not sure how many should have won. I mean, I would say I would say the biggest disappointment was maybe in the opening leg. I mean, that the horse had a amazing trip, just right off the pace.
Yeah,
and got nailed at the wire by the outside 13. So,
yeah.
But again, I mean, you and I both agreed. We thought the 9 in the last race had an even bigger chance with the 11. With the 11 out,
yeah.
My grandmother would have said that's the truth if I had sneezed, but since I didn't, I guess maybe a lie. But I mean, certain horses that look like, even if they didn't make the lead, the fact that they didn't even get out there, it changes things.
It does, and I think you get that added aspect of chaos on changing the surface like that, especially when these horses are on synthetic for the first time, right? So it helps the prices, and,
right?
And with that 11 out, it could have helped. Some of these couple of the jocks thinking, okay, I'm going to go. Let's go and let's see if we can kind of steal this thing.
And someone will steal it eventually. That, that is going to happen.
The 13 horse, wish she wasn't getting bet.
Princess.
Is
she getting bet? 16 to 1, 20 to 1 line.
Yeah. I don't think it's without a chance. I mean, if you go back on form, it won an allowance at Turfway in January, coming off the pace, 9 to 1.
I thought you did. I don't think you mentioned it, but you threw out some big prices yesterday. I'm gonna tell you. I think number 5, Addicted to Love, can nab a slice.
Sammy Bermudez.
Yep.
Flat out. Do we have a Sire move on flat out, or?
My thought was running late and has numbers that definitely can, on the right day at 50 to 1, beat 8 of these and blow up the try.
All right, fair enough. And I do like the 13 a little bit. I think the 13 is definitely usable for the same kind of thing. Trifecta. You got Rock's Princess. You got Joe Ramos up for Bill Gowan, who's done well at Turfway. I like the outside post at 6.5.
Waiting for Ramos to get his win. Yeah. I know that's coming.
And if you look back, this horse, last year's meet, third in allowance here at Turfway, followed up with a win, both at the 6.5 distance. Stepped up in class to a tougher field. Coria Comet, awesome treat. Ran 8th and 8th a couple times. So I don't know if it lost form or it just got in too tough, but this might be a little bit more reasonable.
Yeah, and outside horses did fine, which the way the profile of the winners coming from out of it down the crown of the track, really. I mean, the only big rail move we saw was Axel, and that was only good enough for second. It's definitely a nifty move, but outside has not been a hindrance. We still have the post 11 and 11 horse fields on 2 turns in play, but I would say based on what I've seen through, we've got 6 route races so far. That's in jeopardy at some point.
Mm-hmm. And Candace is talking about the 13 or the 10 as well, and for sure. The 10 I was kind of back and forth on. A lot of starts, a lot of thirds. Just doesn't seem to want to win too much, and seems to maybe hang a little bit, but if we're talking trifectas and outside posts, for sure.
And there is some love for Lily Poo, which I get, like, at 2-1, I'm not over the moon, but we saw yesterday, that the key to your whole, I mean, really your month could have been made by keying, an even money with 2-1 who closed it out as second choice, or Utah Beach, who I was against, ended up being much the best. So we all get that Lily Poo could be it. And I would say, I want to see how much I want to put into this race. I do like the 4, who's 10-1 currently. And I think the 5 could, disrupt something at a huge number. It's, if it comes 6-4-5, do I really not want to have that try?
No, you want to have that try.
I want to have that try. So,
yeah,
but to me, it's like, okay, well, how much do I put, the 6 on top with, does either the 4 or 5 have to be in there? So that's kind of what I'm thinking about.
The 5 is a price at that big of a price. You already have your value. So then you don't want to not have the 6. But yeah, when you make a bigger ticket and you got a bunch in there, it gets more complicated.
Now, I will say, and I'm sure people are going to like him in the 5th, I would not use the 6 in the 5th race in that same situation.
Okay.
I just don't like the horse. Whereas Lily Poo, I do, but it was just like, okay, I'm singling Duke.
You don't like the price.
I don't. Yeah. I mean, it was just kind of, I didn't want to be in a situation where I ended up, and I like the 5 in the last. So,
right.
If I had been right about that and both had won,
right,
I would have oh wow, whoopee, Lily Poo. But now I'm out anyway. So to me, we're a whole new calculus now, where the horse totally makes sense to use with, especially Addicted to Love. But, I like the 4th, 5th choice right now.
Right. Yeah, this 4 is interesting. Mautai, second off a layoff. Are you familiar with Chadwick Peach? I know he's won some races around.
Chadwick Peach?
Yeah. No. Maybe won last year. It seems like he won last year here.
Sounds like someone who would sell me pudding.
I don't know. Ran well on allowance here, second by a head. Ran a couple good races. Yeah, I mean, probably not to win, but I think, fits for a piece. 4, 5.
Turfway would be one of those. Trying to think how it would work pari-mutually, but like it would be competitive to actually be able to try to bet horses who won't hit the board.
Oh yeah,
I mean, like yesterday, the 8 who was second in race 8, 99-1.
You would have taken the action.
Which I know you used a little bit. Travis had in the mix, so it's like, okay, I guess everyone just thought the horse couldn't win, but no, I mean that would be, maybe like a Survivor type wager where you're betting against horses to hit the board. I mean, it'd be fun anywhere, but at Turfway especially.
Yeah, it's great. It can be great. Yeah, I'm looking at the 13. I think the 13 is interesting for that kind of price, and the 3 though at 15-1. Wow, Lily Lane, and I think the 3 show up on
Lily's wild.
Let's go back to our Sire Moves report. The 3 is a Speightstown, so 19% winners on a synthetic sprint. But there's a lot of horses with some good synthetic sprint pedigree. The 2 is a Curlin, 15%. I'll just put it up. Got a $4 pick 3 keyed Lily Poo. All right. Good luck.
And I mean, like, again, that, to me, I keyed Duke, and I'd love to be live.
Duke, we're still on Duke.
What? Like, people would say, chalk, but, he pressed it, and he's gotten, he got a $20 horse in the middle, and he's looking at a nice payoff. So,
yeah. 7 scratched. The 8's never been on synthetic sprints, at least on the data here. The 9, favored or one of the favorites and decent numbers. So nothing too surprising.
Yeah, I'm trying. 7's out, right?
Yes, 7 is the only scratch. So what about a pick 3 here going through? I thought there were some good prices in the next race. I was on kind of the 1, 4, 5 as prices, and then the 8.
One is out. Oh, in the next race.
Yeah, and then race 5 we got the favorite King's Secret. You said you didn't like.
Right.
I do like him, but I think just kind of like that last route, things could get pretty wide open.
Who's on the 9 in the 4th?
Who's on the 9? It is Martinez. Gabby, is that Gabby?
Okay.
Yeah,
Gabriel. I gave that one an upgrade because of that, but 4-8 were my.
So
4-8 were the horses I used in the Maltese.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think a pick 3, considering it ends in a race where I'm against the obvious favorite, gonna have to get involved.
I thought this 5 in race 4, My Known Star, 20-1 morning line, I thought had a shot.
Shap's long shot.
There we go.
Of the day. Yeah.
And only time Turfway synthetic route, ran a good second, came off the pace, rushed in the 3 path, stayed game, and missed. Good comments.
Yeah. Yeah, ran its race, ran well, in form, likely.
Yep. And the 4 short list I also had on my short list. So who do you have in race 5 if you're not on the 6? You had the 7 was your top choice?
7, 8, 11, 13.
Okay.
So 13, and that's Juan is on the 13, which is the reason I gave an extra look to.
Luan Machado.
Yeah.
All right.
The X-Man, if you will.
What about outside post and Melanie?
I mean, I will say they're typically not great, but going back to how we've seen things play, for me, I would say maybe more of a downgrade on the 11, who seems to be forwardly placed. But I would not closers outside two turns. It's fine. I mean, just the way the track is, you want to be clear. But there were a couple of horses yesterday who actually did. I mean, I appreciated the ride. The jockey, they let the horse run its style of race, but just wasn't working yesterday. So I do have the 11 in the mix. Admittedly, maybe a downgrade at this point, but I think it's a good price. So, and I'm against the favorite, so I'm not gonna want to let that horse beat me. But I would say of the 4 A's I gave you, that's probably the one I would throw out first if I was looking to shed, just because of the dynamics and the outside post.
Okay, fair enough. And this is. So I think I'm going to try a pick 3 using that 5 as a bomb in the next race, and then I'm going to try to do the same thing with the 3 as a price in race 5. I don't know if that makes any sense, but try to get through this race, and then you get to either the 5 in the next or the 3.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Just kind of looking at how these pick 3s pay, and we've seen how great they pay if you just get one price in there.
No, I mean,
that's all you need.
I remember that one yesterday was you got the $20 winner to start, but then 2 very clear choices. One of the biggest favorites on the night, and it was still 160-1.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
I was amazed.
Maybe I can add 13 in race 5 a little bit. I'm a little stubborn on that one. All right. Well, let's get some more winners going. Thanks for all the chat wager suggestions in the chat. Good stuff. Good.
And I mean, it illustrates perfectly seeing all the different ideas, just how competitive and it's pretty rare. I feel, I mean, people might say, oh, the Addicted to Love, that's a reach. Well, yeah, 50 to 1, that's fine. But I mean, there's reasonable comments made on, you know, like the 13's 20 to 1, but yeah, it makes sense. Like that's an angle you believe in, or, you know, you have whatever you have. Part of the fun.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try this 3 at 23 to 1.
It's almost spoiling a little bit, because I definitely looked at some races this afternoon, and it was, you know, 6-7 horse fields, and there were 2 very clear contenders. Not to say that they always win. Of course, they still get beat. But, yeah, I mean, it doesn't give you that, man, if I'm right here, I'm – no. You got that feeling yesterday, so I'm hoping my turn is
there you go.
En route.
Yeah,
I just got to make sure if the 5 hits the board, I have something.
Addicted to Love. All right, I like it. Yeah, I'm going to use this 3 Lily Lane at 23 to 1. It's just wow, it's just a big price, and as we've seen, there's so many prices here. Yeah, I don't know what to do with Lily Poo. I'm kind of like you. I'm going to protect it with a little bit when I'm looking at some of these longer prices, but I don't know. Just don't love 8 to 5 on a horse that's dropping.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
not winning a lot.
It's so binary. Either the horse is, I mean, sort of like, to me, Utah Beach. Now, even though probably the most impressive performance yesterday was the Ruiz Temple City, but even at even money, I was like, oh wow, like But Utah Beach was, oh man, that was the one to lean on at 7 to 5. Clearly the best, and maybe some of us will be saying that about Lily Poo, not whoever had the ticket alive with the press. They'll get to say I told you so, but
there you go. All right. Flip it here a little bit. Yeah, I was on 1458 in the next. Trying to get through to that.
Yeah, this 3 isn't impossible at 26 to 1.
That's what I'm saying. I thought the 3 was great, and I don't like the 6 to the point where I'm going to take like an exacta 6-3, but I might take a 9-3 exacta and do some tries. I guess there's a scratch. The 9 scratch in race 6. Let people know.
Oh, my top pick.
Oh. All right, so got some pick 3s in. Good luck, everybody, on this one. Loading in the gate here, so almost ready. I ran out of time, so I had to go win and place on the 3. And they're off.
Nope, got shut out of my last one. Hopefully that won't be the Widowmaker.
The Widowmaker. Yeah, that's I didn't get my trifectas in with the 3, but all right. Well, there's the 11 by himself. Let's see if I can give Speed a chance. 9 to 1. Probably a fair price, but not really a great price on a horse that was probably.
Well, I mean, I'm disappointed in the price on the 4. I mean, that was one I thought for sure would be a $20 horse. I did not bet to win. Just wasn't the right price, but certainly having the mix and some other stuff. But
yeah. Well, This is the Ravelli, right? This is still hanging in there for a little while.
Ravella's a Ravelli?
The 11, Viola.
Oh.
All right, so there's the 9 coming. There's the 6 coming. Is it at the 8 coming with them? There's 9. 9, 8, 9, 6. Looks like the 9's got this, huh? Well, there you go.
6 did not get second.
No. Missed the photo.
That was my read.
All right, well.
I didn't see a lot. Someone I thought, yeah, Charles B had the 9. Did he have whoever was second, though? Well,
9,
he did a super something box.
1, exactly.
So the 6 being third killed him.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess he'll have the exacta, assuming it was the 8 in second.
30 to 1.
Was it the 8?
Yeah, that'd be nice. Here we go, 9, 20. Yeah, looks like to try super key box. Cool. That'll work. Even the exacta there.
Yeah.
Be
It covers them.
plenty good.
Nice one, Charles.
Yeah. Very nice. Yeah, that was the 9 was the horse you could lean on, and then Lily Poo. That's another L.
I'm stunned on the speed here.
That it can't.
It's just.
Well, that 11. Okay, so they went 45, 50. That was pretty fast. And
that's spirited. I would say
the 11 was
Corrales
outclassed.
with 2 now.
I think the 11 was fairly outclassed, and so I think 9 to 1 was fair for a horse that was quite possibly going to be on the lead like that by
There it is.
itself. All right, I'm going to tap out for a second. Are you all right?
Yeah, but then I'm tapping out.
Okay, I'll be right back.
To move in the middle of the Shadow Stevens mic, though. So 2 for Corrales after getting blanked on opening night, which certainly rare for him, but 5 to 2, a good price if you were a believer. My first A of the night, after completely whiffing in the first 2, wasn't able to do much with it. Didn't like the 8 at all. So for those who connected, like Charles and looks like Hot Rod, also in the mix with a 9.8 or 9.86, and Catherine was across on the Ocho. So some Sharpies here, getting the job done in race 3. When we turn the page to race 4, it'll start the pick 6 at Turfway, 20-cent wager, 15% takeout, 90% to the daily pool, 10% to the jackpot. So the effective takeout, assuming there isn't a single winner, is 23.5%. Not too bad. A bet I'm willing to play with the right opinions and circumstances in the sequence. Tonight is not one of those nights. Definitely passing on the pick 6. But for those who might have some clever thoughts, could pay handsomely. Although I would say this is so competitive, and the pool, the pick 6 is not getting the attention the pick 5 does at Turfway. Might be a situation where if you're using too big of prices, you're actually not getting the right value out of the pick 6. So just something to think about, but didn't even enter my lexicon for tonight. Just too tough. And no real strong opinions. Unfortunately, the strong opinions I did have were bad. So we'll see what works out. Hopefully later on the card, going to be more spot play action than pick 5s. We are official. Race 3, Ravella made the official winner, waiting on payouts. Can look at the exactable pays. The great thing about Turfway, and this 9.8, 61 to 1. Yeah, there we go. 62, a couple pennies. No idea why their tote doubles up on some of those payouts. didn't need to do that. But yeah, that's 101 for a 50-cent try. 24 in the middle. Man, if I'm not a big place and show better, but that's kind of an example with the 8, 35, 18 for place and show, which is a little less than 5-1 across the board. Kind of a casual player, spot plays at a big price. That's not too bad, and you didn't have to worry about being right in the other spots. Personally, though, trying to get serious or really want to make a go at long-term positive value on your wagers, place and show, very rare exception. You're just kind of eating away at your opinion by having to rely on other people's opinions. But if the 6 runs out, things pay even higher in the show department. So good play if you use the 8. Wasn't me. Catherine did, though. Saw the change of surface. Good play there. And again, Charles, really nice job identifying the 9 as a key and getting the 8 in there. Too bad the 2 couldn't get up for third on the 6. Lily Poo. Again, I just don't think Lily Poo was good enough. Probably wasn't winning that race. Definitely an underlay, but Axel was, he kept going. He didn't wrap up. Situation I've seen, unfortunately, you're on a chalk, and maybe they're good enough to save you underneath in a try with some horses used at decent prices, and they get wrapped up on late. I don't like it, but Axel, that's not his style, so we like him. Rent is due has entered the chat. Welcome. Rent is due tomorrow for a lot of people. Usually, though, they give you to the 5th or 6th. Thankfully, that is, and actually with my mortgage, I think I have until the 15th or 20th of the month. Unfortunately, in my younger days, that was some grace periods I needed to take advantage of. But now in a better spot in terms of handling responsibilities, that's not in play. But for those who are trying to make rent, we still have 6 races to go, and the payouts are big at Turfway. So hopefully we can get you some help. Rodney is already he's ready for race 4. 7-8 on top. I'm 4-8 here. And I just blocked the prices. So let me get rid of the 4's 5-2, the 8's 5-1. I would say if these prices hold, I would switch my pick to the 8. I think 5-1. They're both close to me. So, in my mind, I would see the longer price as the value. But looking at the double pool, the 8 actually will end up being favored. Looking at the will pays, so I think the public has it right, though. The 4 and 8 here make the most sense, and then Gadiel is on the 9 at a price, so kind of eager to see if maybe we can sneak him underneath the logicals, and then I didn't get the love for the 13 in the previous race. Although a 20-1 was in no position to talk anyone off. I actually do like the 13 in the next 2 races. Might see what the 13-13 double is. Not too often you can actually play that. But 10-1 here, and I think that's a decent price. So we'll see what Mark thinks as he allows me to use the restroom. A couple questions I'll get to when we get back. But in the meantime, race 4 coming up. And I'm going to go reload the ADW.
Oh, yeah. All right. So you gave out all the winners when I stepped out?
Yeah, I just went through every horse in the race. So one of them's gonna get it done.
Yeah. I'm frustrated with that. 9 was almost kind of a single type. And with the way it had run last year, no, of course it was turning back to a sprint here, but seemed like it was really well intended and pointed for that spot. So kudos to everybody that was on the 9 there. Okay, so Ed's kind of taken through race 4. pretty wide open. Just get my picks in for a second. I was looking at the 4, 5, and 8, and then maybe the 1 as my fourth choice. And the 8 was, let's see, 20-1. I'm sorry, the 8 was 3-1 morning line, so one of the shorter prices. But the 5 was 20-1 morning line, currently 8-1. So I thought that 5 was really interesting, and I kind of played a pick 3 through the 5 here. So let's pull up our Sire moves report and see if there's anything interesting in these next two as we kind of look at the double. Put that off. And here we go. So the 11, Eli is a keen ice, only a 9% synthetic route. And Ed was talking about some of the 13 and a couple races in a row. The routes yesterday played to inside. The outside horses didn't compete as well, and so I'm going to try to stick inside. So that's why I was looking at the 1, 4, and 5 here, in addition to the 8 as one of the favorites. But looking at the Sire stats, the 12, Load 'em Up Justice, not a lot of data. Sire's only 0 for 2 on a synthetic route. The 2, no, here's one where the report is really a value. But just a Carver, 0 for 21 on a synthetic route. So that's a Sire that, for whatever reason, his horse is 16% on a dirt route, doing great. So you not only do you have the sort of negative effect on a synthetic route, but they're actually coming off of a better performance coming from a synthetic route. So for me, that horse is a total toss. The 5 I talked about, Mine Shaft, 17% to 13%. That's kind of minor. Not really concerned about that. And then now we're into race 5. Just kind of preview that a little bit. The 10, Eastern Market. Let's see, is the 10 in? Twirling Candy, a little bit of step down, Sire-wise. 11, Mo Lantern. So Motown's, so it was coming from a turf sprint that was wet, meaning, good or soft, where they've won, 25% of the time with a huge positive impact of 117%. So what that basically means is out of those 8 races, they're winning more than double they should. So the Motown on a turf sprint wet should have won 1 out of 8 or even less than 1 out of 8, and it's got 2 wins. So what that can mean, and I'm talking about Mo Lantern, is the horse ran second in a turf sprint at Churchill Downs. But it could be, I don't want to say dressed up because now it's a second-time starter, but it's coming from a surface that, with not a lot of data, shows that it has a lot of affinity to a surface of synthetic route where they're just 11%, so they're just average. So that could dampen some of the potential improvement on the 11 Mo Lantern. We talked about the 12 Red Hot Justice, same Harry's Holiday Sire. I was interested in the 3 Call Me Tony. Tonalist have a slight move up. That wasn't the reason, but also a little bit interested in the 4 Sherbert Fountain, Twirling Candy, and then this is
Racing KK gave a look to the 4.
Okay. And then the 6 King Secret. Look at this, Kingman. Wow. Now the horse is favored anyway, so I guess it's sort of irrelevant. But synthetic routes, 5 out of 10. Although the impact isn't that huge for 5 out of 10. So that's again the way to read it. That they should have won 2.5 out of those 10 races. So they're probably
very short prices.
Yeah.
But turf route. Obviously that's a big move forward percentage wise,
Yeah.
but I mean, 23% over a 240 race sample is
Now, one thing to
pretty
remember,
solid.
Kingman's based overseas, right?
Yeah, I think
So-
he's a Juddmonte.
Right. So I think a lot of times those come over here and they go to Chad Brown. So
Yeah,
they're
Brad or
they're going right. So they're going to some of the premier stables, or they're coming from Europe as horses that already have promise.
right. Maybe
And-
need Lasix.
Yeah.
And yeah.
They're going
No,
to
that's-
stakes races or whatever. So these stats don't include racing overseas, just North America. And then lastly, Leaflet, Blame, pretty flat move, 17% to 13%. So that's kind of the next two races there on the Sire Moves report. We don't have any other firsters today, do we?
We don't.
We're done.
We're done with those.
All right.
And I haven't looked at tomorrow yet, but
I have not either. I'm still trying to find some winners here.
yeah, I'm
We're
0 for 12. Which
All right, we got to fix that.
yeah.
But looking back, I'm a little
I've
frustrated.
cashed some tickets, so I'm not being shut out where it really
Yeah.
counts. But I would like to say I had a winner.
Yeah. Hey, I'm frustrated that 9. He wasn't necessarily a single for me, but he could have been. Could have been a lone A too. All right.
I actually, I mean, of all the races, I singled earlier, and I might end up in a single situation with the scratch in race 6. I will say though, of all the races, I felt like this one was covered by the 4-8. Like,
Okay.
So I'm trying to think. I don't like the 6 in the next. So, maybe there's some opportunity in a pick 3, only using 2 here against the favorite in the next. Maybe even look at some doubles.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely keen to see some of the exacta will pays. Did you touch on Major Sparks?
No, I just said that I'm 4-5-8 over 1 here. I do like the 1 though. I mean,
I thought, and what is he now? 13-1. I thought with the rail, just maybe save some ground. Going to need to find a seam, but I mean, just has numbers that shows can compete with these at the end. Just kind of going to be running late, but I thought at the price was usable.
Fernando De La Cruz needs to get on the board here.
But I mean, Gadiel in here is, he's 20+1, and based on the doubles is going to be maybe even double that. So
And who's he on?
the 9,
Okay.
who that is one I would say need some help. Like that didn't stick out to me but if the 4 and 8 are as good as they are and the 9's third, like they're as good as I think they are, I should say, that's something I want to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think aren't you against the flow there a little bit?
Yes. Yeah.
So looking at the way the pace could shape up, right? The 3 could go to the lead. The 9 could get out there, and then maybe even, I guess, the 13 would maybe stalk those 2. I mean, there's not a ton of speed, but there's enough. I've seen these paces are developing rather quickly. So,
And when if you've been on the lead, other than the Temple City horse yesterday at even money, just blew the doors off.
yeah.
I mean, you're not even getting a thrill like, oh, maybe I'll hold on. I mean,
No.
like the wall is being hit.
Yeah.
And then that second wave,
Right.
they're not giving you a thrill either.
They're
I mean,
moving too soon.
Yeah, they're getting swallowed.
Right.
So, which, if you're playing a closer, or like if you have a bunch, and looking for a long shot, like you're getting somewhat of a thrill. Like in that last race, Addicted to Love was not good enough, but got the trip. I thought, like, okay, if things really collapse, this one's going to be running late, and he was running late. So, to me, I think there's a lesson here. If you kind of have a clear idea of how the race is going to be run, especially at a really big price, if you think you're with the flow, the right flow,
Yeah.
don't be discouraged that you need to pick up a few lengths.
Right.
You know, because if things collapse, they collapse.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's why I'm looking at the 5 that I liked a lot. I'm wondering if he's going to be in the second flight moving a little too soon, which has sort of been not, as you said, not the place to be necessarily. Whereas like the 1 looks like it'll move later than the 5.
So what did you do in race 6? Or what are you
I
going to
haven't
be
done anything
doing
in
or-
race 6 yet.
Oh,
You were talking about race 5 or
I was just looking ahead to this pick 3.
the pick 3? I'll glance at it. I've focused on the first 5.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That was the assignment.
All right. Well, also this Cricket West. So this is one of those majestic city horses that went to Gulfstream and just started ripping off wins going synthetic routes. So I don't know how much that transfers off the form, but it went, 4 out of 5, 4 for 6 overall, but won 4 out of 5 races at a synthetic route at Gulfstream, and now comes in off of like bad form at Mountaineer. So that's kind of interesting. Who'd you like in race 6?
Well, I actually like the 9, which I lost.
Okay.
So now I feel like I'm in a potential spread situation. I would say 4 the most, but 1, 6, 7, or 10 are kind of in my mix.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't look 5,000 claimers. It doesn't look like the toughest bunch that we've seen. Corrales is on 6 for Asmussen. And the 4 looks good from some of the closes and gets back to synthetic where it's winning, where it's basically not winning on turf. Interesting. All right.
Rent is due. It's a great name.
Yeah. 5 minutes to race 4. All right. Yeah, I'd say that 4 looks pretty good in race 6.
All right. If it's good enough for you.
Yeah, it's good enough. I mean, this 10 is Golden Gate synthetic. No. I do like that 7 from that was winning on the synthetic Gulfstream, but I don't know the way this track's playing. I mean, the horse can rate a little bit. But I just worry it's going to get stuck in the pace. Yeah, maybe 4-7.
Who's German Terrazza?
So, what race? This race?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's a double bug. So what's that?
Double. So 7 pounds.
7 pounds. That was riding up at Hoosier. Hoosier, Indiana. Like a lot of, I would say, the inexperienced riders, I think they can ride better on the front. It's easier to ride horses on front than in packs. And I think it's a lot tougher to ride route races, especially coming off it in a turf route, a synthetic route, and so my rule of thumb was with the younger jocks that they're sort of unproven or unproven to you is if they're low in speed that's usable. But, this like coming off the pace and judging pace and coming from the 11 post, that's not for me.
Well, and for me, the weight allowance brushing off my physics, is I think it matters on the lead, or it helps more on the lead because you're less like if you stop, you're done anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas
Right.
if you're, yeah, you can accelerate faster the less weight you're carrying, but if you get stopped making a move, then you're still having to re-accelerate. So, I mean,
Right.
it helps no matter where you are in the race, but I definitely feel like carrying less weight on a front runner is key. And then you couple that with your thought, which I agree with, is, you know, an experience, whatever the reason, less trouble, less decisions to make.
I think that's the key. Less decisions to make.
Because once you're on the front, then your decision is position and the clock in your head. So
yeah, and I think like so many things in life, you just you need that experience, and that's how they're getting it as bugs and getting those chances to figure it out and get better. All right, let's start. So the 5 is, you know, getting bet a lot more here than I thought it would be. Dial up the video for a second here. Looks like they're milling around the gate, so
nearing the gate.
getting close.
yeah.
So I did get involved here. I like the 4. I think 7-2 is a fair price. So played that to win. And then used 1 and 13 in the mix with 4 and 8.
Okay.
3, 5, and I'm sorry, and the 9 as well. 1, 9, and 13. The 3 and 5, I came in to the night curious what price they'd be, but at less than 10 to 1, I'm out. So
Okay.
acknowledging that, you know, there's some danger there, but that's
fair enough. Okay. All right, I'm going to play some pick 3s through the 3 in the next, and try to use that 4 in race 6 that I talked about. Yeah, in this race, I couldn't really get too excited. Let's see about Bombers here. I'm going to play the 1 in the exacta.
And there they go. Stumbling start 7. Hey,
no, we're off.
Yeah, just like that.
All right, so who can we throw out based on the 6 that are going for the lead here? All right, good. None that I used, so.
Yeah, well, there's the 2. Grandin Bay, we talked about the negatives, the Ofer Sire move.
It's a fraction. I mean, not that's pokey.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the type of trip. If you bet the 3, normally you'd be gushing over.
Right. Yeah, it just hasn't worked so far. But all right, 49. There's the 13. And oh wow, there's okay. So the 3 across 3, 12, and 13. Yeah. So with this slow pace, then you've got to say, like, you know, is there enough pace for them to catch them? All right, that's my 5, but I don't know if anyone's going to catch your 13.
5 was 7-2. Holy moly!
Yeah, that's crazy. I'll still take it because I'm alive in the pick 3 with them. But
I'm liking my spot.
was your 4?
Yeah.
I need the 4 or the 5. Can we get 4 or 5? All right, short list. 4, 13, 5. And
All right.
all right,
Now we're feeling good.
yeah, got a winner. Got 9-2 home.
Winner, exacta.
All right, I like it.
Started some pick threes.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't play the exact with the 5 at 7-2. Huge. It was really got low.
On the board. I believe me, I understood the interest in the 5.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that horse was 7-2.
No, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah, that's. But that. See, the first pick 3.
That was Tom Van Berg, who's spots him well.
Like that guy.
Yeah, Tom's a good guy.
I heard his dad can train a little bit.
Good.
So the first pick 3 was 180 to 1 about.
Okay.
Paid 89 for 50. That was 122 for 50. So 244 for a buck.
Okay.
I have to think the bottom half of the field in the pick 5 coming up will be in that 50,000 range again.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean, with that 9-1 firster, that was super tough. You know, and these are the type of races, right? You kind of have to get through. If you didn't love the 4 like you did, I mean, I went 4 deep to get to the 4. I mean, it wasn't my 4th choice, but I went 4 deep in this race. And you could go 4 deep in a race like this and miss very easily. So, yeah, it's just not easy. It's tough sledding at Turfway Park.
Never plugged in my computer.
All right. Well, that's important. You don't want to run out of juice. So congrats to everybody like Ed who had the 4 there. Nice exacta too with the 8 going off at 13 to 1, and I guess that with the 5 getting
the
bet down
13
so
went
much.
off at 8 to 1.
Sorry.
Still fine though.
Yeah, 8 to 1.
9 to 2 on short list was a good price. I mean,
Yeah.
just,
Yeah, I think so. Where did the 8 end up?
I gotta ask Scott why that horse was 7 to 2.
Yeah. But I mean, talk about a flat board, right? So the 8 was 3 to 1 with Machado up. We had a 7 to 2 on the 5, 2 9 to 2 shots in the 3 and 4, and a 5 to 1 shot on the 7. So there's 5 horses there between, you know, it's a 3 and 5.
And the 1, I did not play the try, which I'm sort of glad because if I had seen that with the 1 almost, well, it wasn't that close for 3rd, but still 20 to 1.
Yeah, that's my kind of super play, but I didn't play it. But I had the 1 as a possible winner, so I was not looking at him so far underneath.
As far as the apprentices go, Axel's the only one with a win, but they're definitely popping up in the gimmicks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that was the German Terrazzo we were talking about. Yeah. Good race. And so that was a race that didn't collapse, but the 4 was still able to come off the pace. And well, the 13 was kind of the middle move horse.
Yeah, but I mean the 2, which the 2 was a big bomb, but the 3 had taken money, and
yeah,
I mean as we said during the running of the race, like,
yeah,
if that's at Churchill, I love where the 3 is,
right?
Because you know they turn for home at Churchill, you cut them loose, you're gone.
Yeah,
not the case in Florence.
Another superfecta, 2,000, almost 2,000 for $1. Some good try, $150.
That was I would say that even more than the exacta was definitely. I mean, I like the 8 as well. Was another A. The board kind of made it clear which direction to go, but yeah, that's a nice try. I'm guessing mine own star was maybe not the second choice in the other wagers.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. So, all right, so we got the important pick 5. Will pays up. Yeah, big prices on the 9 and the 12. Gigantic prices.
Wow.
Not so much on the 11. Only $2,000 on the 11. and $3,000 on the 13, and the 6 being favored, of course, only 1,100.
I'm surprised if a few of those aren't more.
Yeah. Yeah. See, we're glad we're not going to hit it, right?
Who needs 1,100?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the pool, like you said, great, 265,000. Wow, fantastic.
All scratch from tonight's 5th race, and Jockey
All right.
change on the 9 Wicked Beautiful to Samuel Bermudez.
Yeah, the pick 5 was out of my reach based on what happened in the first leg. I'm a little disappointed. I psyched myself out a little bit with the firsters.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe there was a chance to be live to something here against the 6, but
yeah. I guess I'm alive for 405 to a couple here, but
yeah, Contos.
But one of them's the 6, and it's not paying them much to begin with. The 3, it's paying $6,000, so I guess the console could be worth something. And the 4 is paying $4,500. All right. Well, 21 minutes to race 5. So let's pull up the Sire report and just see what's popping the rest of the way. Turn that off. While you're calculating your winnings or probables?
Writing down what I'm live to.
Yeah, all right, there we go. That's a good feeling, right? Okay.
Yeah, I played a double to the 8 and 13 here because they were the bigger prices.
Okay.
I'm sorry, 7, 8, 13.
All right. Just the Sire moves are walked through race 5, race 6. There's your 6 Moonlight Rain that you were talking about.
Which race is this?
This is race 6.
Oh, okay.
As I think you said, your second choice. And I was talking about the 7 Cricket West, the Majestic City, where they really jump up. 23% winners on synthetic, although I think that's a couple horses, this big one of them. And let's see, race 7, the 8 Empty Holster, 15-1. Oh, this is interesting. At Sun Tracer, 0 for 18 in a dirt sprint. Now they're 20%, so it's just 3 of 15. But a positive impact going into synthetic sprint. So, essentially saying the horse should not have done much of anything on those dirt sprints. Oh wow, okay. So going back to synthetic, it has run synthetic routes where it has a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in 3 tries.
And that's the 8.
The 8 never been sprinting on the synthetic. Not trying to advocate for the horse based on the race, handicapping, just saying that's something interesting.
My biggest negative would be time form projects on the lead.
Okay.
Which is that's not the
The
spot,
8?
unfortunately.
Empty Holster?
In the 6th?
No, the race 7. No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's in the back.
Yep.
Closing
Yeah,
at
1, 2, 3.
FanDuel Fairmount Park. The 11 Franz Joseph, the M Showish, that's a big jump up to synthetic routes. In that's race 8. Race 8, a credit, a little bit of an improve there. Hosier, not the band, but the horse, improves a little bit. Pioneer of the Nile. And in the nightcap, we've got the 10 Proud Performer. These are pretty low level. Oh, he scratched low level maiden claimers. But that's the type where you can be looking for, any kind of improvement, right? The 4 Will Virginia Dare gets stormy. There's a little bit of an improvement. perhaps coming to synthetic.
Perchance.
So
I asked if anyone's live. Hopefully, maybe have a route for the crew. We'll see.
yeah,
Um,
they're tough. You only need a couple, right?
Yeah.
A couple once every couple weeks at some of these prices. They're phenomenal.
No, absolutely. I mean, I was XX to start, so I have no sob stories, but I definitely feel like again, if depending on your opinion, if the Ravelli in the opening leg, that's the one. I mean, it very reasonable to be live at this point.
Right. I mean, some of my friends are chatting and saying like, all you have to do is connect. You don't have to worry about, because the prices are solid. We're literally looking at just under 3-2 in the opener, the 9-1 firster, $7.60 on the Maury horse in race 3, and a 9-2 shot. So basically two chalks, a 9-2 and a 9-1.
Yeah.
And you could be live to some very nice payoffs. The question is how to get to that efficiently, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
so
No, and I think, really anywhere, but especially Turfway, just with the way, it's not like favorites never win there. But you can't, you definitely don't want to, again, be 4 or 5 deep and feel like, oh, I need to use the favorite every race. Like you need some, or maybe it's even not the favorite, but you need some narrow race, that I wish race 4 maybe had been in the late, because that would have been definitely where I would have felt comfortable just using 4 and 8 there. But
right.
oh well.
Well.
Okay. I mean, I'm seeing what the pick 3s are capable of paying here.
Yeah.
And being against, which, I mean, 5-2 is kind of chilly. Like, to me, what was the morning line on the 6?
9-5.
Yeah. So, which I'll look at the double to see if maybe that's actually what we'll get. But so 9-2. My top pick here is 9-2. Man, I can't get anything past these guys. But I use the 8, who's 8-1.
Yeah.
I use the 3 and the 4. One of those come in, and I'm live, into the third leg. Like, to me, that's a chance for a $400 50-cent pick 3.
Yeah. So you're just live to the middle leg at this point. That's what you're saying.
Yes, with also doubles 7, 8, 13, because those were I did not use the 11 in the double, even though it's an A, because that was the lowest will pay of the 4.
Right.
And I'd rather have the other 3 multiple times than spread with the shortest price of the ones I liked. So
okay. And I'm left to the 3. I've got a $10 double and a $3 pick 3 ending here. So let's see. Got to look another closer on the rail. Try that action one more time.
The 3's the rail, right?
Yeah. Just keeps moving in.
The 5 and the 8 has a posted workout of 1.25 miles. Has anyone seen a workout of that distance?
I have. It's not very often.
It's pretty rare.
In 235.
This would be if we had Crunk on speed dial.
Yeah.
He'd be able to find every 10 furlong work in the last 15 years in moments, but unfortunately that's out of my skill set. So
I could do a time work in 1.25 miles, but it'd take me about 11 minutes. All right. I have seen that. It's not very common. Usually,
to me, it's was it really a mile and they timed the gallop out too, or
was it a gallop for 10 furlongs? And
right.
Yeah.
It's in there though. Where do you have I'm curious where the workout took place.
Maybe they were making it for last time. 235. Yeah. MID is sounds like
certainly a training center.
Yeah, sounds like a Mid-Atlantic training center. Turf.
Wow.
Yeah. Maybe it was a 5-furlong turf course and went around twice.
So King Secret. Yeah, I mean only 2-1 imputed.
Yeah.
So not gonna get to that morning line. Oh, mid, yeah, is that Middleburg?
Yeah.
Because if it ran in a hurdle race, that would still show in the line. It wouldn't treat
Yes.
that as a workout.
Right. Right. Oh, okay. So that makes sense. So it worked a mile and a quarter in advance of a 2-mile turf race, 2-mile hurdle race. Well, is it a hurdle race?
Where at?
Fair Hill.
Oh.
Yeah. The
Fair or far?
Oh yeah, maybe Far Hill. Yeah, Fair Hill's the training center.
Yeah.
Far Hill's the court track. The John Forbes Memorial Stakes, 2 miles, $100,000. So yeah, McLovin, that's like a allowance horse in Naira, right?
Yeah.
I think we got Riptide Rock. Yeah. So yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so that's a cutback from 2 miles to 1 mile. Should have stamina. Should be running late.
Working longer than even the race.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, that's interesting.
Good eye by John. Catch that one.
All right, so pick 5 pools cranking up here, 55,000. And last night was the late pick 5 pool. Was it half the early one, or better than half?
The early one was more than double what it was last year.
Oh yeah, no, I just meant how did the late compare to the race 5 one compared to the first race yesterday?
That I don't know.
All right, but well, let's dump you.
We have the technology, as Ron would say.
That's true. I heard that. Yeah, race 8 is interesting. I mean, there's a lot going on there, and Hush of a Storm, good scent horse that won. What the Battaglia here? Yeah, the Battaglia a couple years ago.
Oops. All right. So yesterday the early did 284.
Okay.
Which is what it did today, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
$264 today, so it makes sense. A little lighter, day 2.
Right.
The late did 204, so more in the early.
Okay, but that's okay. So that's comparable. Wasn't like a huge drop off.
Now I will say, the late pick 4 did more than the early yesterday.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, because this is the swing race, it's part of both.
Yeah. The peg leg.
The peg leg. And the pick 4 was closer to the pool total. It's still the pick 5 handled more. But there's something to keep in mind.
Right. Okay.
And I did not hit at Woodbine.
Oh, how was it? Was Woodbine tough?
It was tough. I by my standards for a mandatory, like if I was really excited, I was prepared to play more. And there were a couple horses I decided to hang my hat on, and it didn't work out. But
No. Okay.
I feel good about the swing given the pool size and not forcing anything. And one of the races, I'm pretty confident I could have gone much deeper and still missed. So,
What did it pay?
well, they're on the last leg,
okay.
but yeah, I'm toast.
That's not good.
Toast is bad. Melba. Let's see what the low pays are. What did I miss out on? Yeah, I mean they are solid for 20 cents. They're all in the many thousands.
Yeah. Gulfstream 20-cent mandatory Saturday, right?
Oh, really?
Claiming Crown. Yeah.
Well, the Claiming Crown's at Fairgrounds, though.
Oh, okay. I was assuming. Okay, so I was putting two together.
So they're sticking it to the Claiming Crown.
Yeah, nice of them. I don't know. Maybe they're just kind of kicking off the meat. Who knows?
Catherine, who earlier had a on-track, looks good play win, is on the 3 here, which I'm sure you're happy to read.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 is a square price at 9-1 too. That's
Stick on the rail.
Yep.
And I mean, if the 6 gets caught in the pace, I mean, the other thing is, at what point do the jocks start adjusting, right? Both, the ones that want to get to the lead, we had a slower pace. Was that last race that was slower?
Yeah.
And then also the middle move horses, instead of moving too soon, did they start waiting, or the favorites, did they start waiting longer? So we'll see, we'll see if they adjust. It's tough, right? I mean, can't imagine. I mean, that it plays so different than any other track, course that you're riding.
Well, understandably, synthetic is different, so I'm not trying to downplay that by any means, but I do think it's understated the dynamic or the effect of it, of 10 to 12 horse races, 10 to 12 horse fields every race.
Right.
Like that's just
that's really
a different flow. It's Woodbine. We also seen Tapeta there, and Presque Isle, and Gulfstream, and Golden Gate. Well, Golden Gate has 5-6 horse fields.
Right.
Presque Isle has 6 or 7. Woodbine is stout for sure, but they have a much longer meet, so they're 8 to 10 typically.
Right.
It's to me just a huge factor that I wish I knew how to account for it better. And I think yesterday when I mentioned looking at jockeys in fields of that size is probably worth a look. And I'm going to take that look, and then you throw in the synthetic too, obviously is part of the gumbo.
Yeah. Or, I mean, maybe I would say differently. What you're saying is, one of the challenges people forget about with Breeders' Cup is, in the average grade 1 throughout the year, there are 7, 8, 9 horse fields where there's really 2 or 3 top competitors.
Right.
Then you get in a Breeders' Cup race where 9 horses can win, and several can go to the lead, several can rate, several can close. It's just such an outlier that, horses can legitimately be the best horse that day and win Breeders' Cup that wouldn't necessarily be as competitive in
Absolutely.
7 horse grade 1.
Yeah. Or, that closer finally gets 3 grade 1 winners ahead of him going at it.
Yeah.
Turf Paradise is not poly, dirt and turf. But yes, they are coming back, it seems like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are coming back, which is great. That's great news. Looking at this last race, did you like anything in the last day?
I picked the 13. The 7 picking up 1 is big. I was somewhat, I don't want to say against, like that was the one of those like made sense, but I was worried about the price. But Luan kind of hurts my interest a little bit. But I was 3, 5, 9, 13 in the A column.
Okay.
So
I'm looking at the 3
spreadish for sure. I want to look at this the soft one, the 6th race, knowing that. So the 3 and 9 are out of the 6th.
Yes.
Unicorn Sally, I like quite a bit.
Unicorn Sally scratched.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we got 3 minutes to the late. The 6 is coming down 2 to 1. The 7 and 11 are 4 to 1. I thought the 4 got a shot here, so I guess my top 4 were like 3, 4, 6, 7 here. Race 7. And then who did you like in race 7?
7, 3, I gave a look to. 9
Okay.
and 2.
Yeah. It's like a little bit more pace in race 7 than some of these other races. One could go, 2 could go, 3 could go, and 12 could go. So that could heat up potentially.
Potential. I'm Mind Your Own was absolutely hammered. Surprisingly, last race, I'm surprised at the price on the 7 here.
Mm-hmm.
I know we lost, I guess, the 1 and the 10, but yeah, I mean, Call Me Tony's 11-1 looks based on the double. That's what we're gonna get.
Call me Tony. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to go 8, 9 with 4 in 7. So, all right. Time to make final selections here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a little bit easier than last night. It's a little rough. So
Making plays or running the stream?
no, the capping, I like the late here. I think is a little bit more reasonable.
Tonight?
Yeah, you don't think so?
Well,
I mean, I think that
the issue last night in terms of why we would disagree here is I had a single in race 8 that you hated.
Yeah.
So once you didn't like that horse,
Yeah.
it definitely made sense that would make it tougher because then there were,
Right.
which you were right, by the way.
Well, I thought there were 5 or 6 evenly matched players in that race, so I wasn't into that 5.
Here we go.
All right. Good luck, everyone.
And I saw this last night too. Based on traffic, the next time we do this, maybe we think about doing the late pick 5.
Oh yeah, because we're getting more traffic now.
Well,
it's true. It's a weird time on the West Coast. Somebody mentioned.
Right.
So the 11's on the lead. That's really interesting. Got all the way over. Got to the lead. All right, and we'll see how they're bunched. So maybe they're not going as fast. 24-1, 24-11. That's not fast, but not slow. Right?
Yeah, six has some keenness.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think this is where the 6 wants to be, right? So he's got to assume that he's got enough horse to run down the 11 when he wants. May not if they go too slow. 49.53, that's fairly slow. And the question, does the 6 still have the same punch over the synthetic? There's my 3, but he's kind of hung wide. No, that's the 13.
The trip
I'm looking at the wrong one. That's the 13. Okay, 3's got the trip that I wanted. I'm looking for the 12 to engage the 11, but or someone. There's the 6.
Here comes my 7.
Yeah, I use the 7. I mean, you convinced me on that one for sure.
Wide Voyage, unfortunately.
Wide Voyage.
Who's
coming
typically
wide?
Is okay, but it stalled the run for sure.
So I think that this race played very much into the hands of of the 6, right?
Yeah,
So
it's
he got to rate off a slow pace.
much the best.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
although 114 and even the 11 was coming again. This was a clear. I mean, horses from the back of the pack made a move, and the ones in front had something left, which is the first time we've seen that.
Right.
But again, for those who were a believer, in one of the ones you could have leaned on tonight, you got 2-1, which is great. B, that's a great way to, if you were narrow and started a pick 5 at Turfway with the 2-1,
yeah,
you're thrilled.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just get through it. That's sort of the name of the game. And yeah, nothing wrong with that. Big field, 2-1. Take that and move on.
Six King Secret, a good-looking winner. 11 Mo Lantern was second.
Yeah.
Third place, 4 Orange Sherbet. I believe the 13
But yeah, I mean, the 6 was best, so that 2-1, hard to read too much into the hit style of run. But the 11, that trip is completely folded every race in the meet so far.
Right.
And he came on again to stay second.
And in that case, I mean, Alex Richard, 24:11 was probably a little more moderate, but 49.53 was slow-ish. 114.
Yeah, that might be the slowest.
138. Now this was a 1.8 miles, though, slightly different, so even more time.
Yeah.
But couldn't get it done and couldn't hold off the favorite. So the trip's not working. You gotta sit back at least in second or third. Right?
Yes, to win for sure.
To win,
I mean, 4-1, a horse like Mo Lantern could be expected to go on with it in those fractions and didn't. But
yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's sort of
it.
A wrap for us.
For now.
For now.
Yeah, we'll be
Hope
back.
everybody keeps playing, keep picking some winners, and we'll look forward to this.
We'll
again
still
soon.
have like and subscribe. We're still doing video content on a daily basis. The stream, maybe a couple weeks we'll be back.
We're gonna take a week off and then maybe come back the week after that.
Yeah, maybe look at doing this late since people seem to be checking in now, which is fun.
Yeah, appreciate everybody joining us. All the good comments. Congrats on those who hit some nice tickets, and keep it going.
Yeah.
Turfway keeps paying out, so you just gotta cash.
Yeah, the meet doesn't slow down. They added a day though, so 4 days a week. We're gonna have
70 more to go.
Yeah, that's right. 70 more. Very good. All right.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, everyone. Where are we at here? We're still going.